First, I want to start off to tell all of y'all thank you for all the prayers that y'all sending me, my mom, and my family. I'm recording this video because I need y'all to know that COVID-19 is real. It's not a joke. My mother is fighting COVID-19 pneumonia, the second strand, at the age of 74 years old. Last night, I got an update that she couldn't remember things. She was forgetting things, and she was confused of where she was. 3 weeks ago, my mom got a vaccine shot. From my understanding, it was a flu shot. And days later, my mom started getting sick. She slept overnight. I noticed that she was in the same spot when I woke up in the morning. I called relatives over to see what we should do, if this could only just be a cold or if it's something else. I'm not a nurse or a doctor, so I couldn't diagnose what was really wrong. But I can tell you, she was able to still drink and eat and get up. She just had a slight cold. However, my relatives took her home. The day of my godson's funeral is the same day that I got a phone call that my godsister passed away. And later that day that I needed to rush to my mom's house to take my mother to the hospital. In one day, a lot. When I got to my mother's house, she was laying on her stomach, something she don't do. Lifeless, weak. I got my mother up out of the bed, got her to the bathroom, washed her up. She had crust all over her face. Haven't washed in 6 days, brushed her teeth in 6 days. Haven't took her medicine in 6 days. Haven't ate or drunk anything in 6 days that she has been home with certain relatives. They were also sick in the home. I knew I couldn't transport my mother, the way her breathing was, to the hospital, so I had to call 911 because I knew how critical and dangerous it was for me to transport her. I didn't have the equipment in my vehicle to transport her, and I did not want to end up repeating that cycle that I had to repeat in 2015 when I had to do CPR in my home on my son Jesse. When I had to perform CPR on my son Milton in 2019 in the gutter. I didn't want that to be a repeat. So 911 was called and they transported my mom to the hospital. I followed the ambulance to the hospital. When we got there, they stopped me and told me I couldn't come in, that they would call me. I left all my information at the front desk, and I also left a letter that my mother gave me years ago, that I had power of attorney of her, that if she's unable to make any decisions for herself, that I am to make those decisions for her. Last night when the doctor called to give us an update, that's when they told us that she was confused, she couldn't remember anything, and she's on a very, very high flow of oxygen breathing for her. Today, 20 minutes ago actually, I actually spoke to the doctor, and they said that today is one of her very bad days. She's not doing well. My biggest question I asked the doctor, I said, this is the question that I want to ask you. What is my mom's survival rate? He said if I would have called early yesterday and asked this, he would have told me that she will be okay. She's just up and down. But today is a very, very bad day for her. He don't know. But in 24 hours, that if she don't turn around, they know they're running out of time. They running out of time for my mother. She's old. She's 74. Me and my mother so close. Right or wrong, my mother got my back. Nobody got my back like her. My mother been living with me for 10 years and got her own place. My mother like a mother to my kids. If something happened to my mother, I don't know what to do. And I say this to say, I don't have to do nothing because my mother do it for me. So it's a lot of things that I don't know how to do. And I'm woman enough to admit that I don't know how to do certain things. I've been in the streets so long, hustling, throwing bricks at the jail, going to jail, that my mother always had money to do whatever it is that needed to be done. I never paid rent. I always gave my mother the money to pay my rent. Never paid a light bill, water bill. Mama always did all of that for me. As long as I gave her the money, she did it. It's just a lot of things that I don't know how to do. Because when you have a mother like mine that makes sure that get done, it's just some things you'll never know how to do. As talking to my sisters, you know, they told me, they said, Juicy, you got to start learning how to do these things. If something happened to mommy, what you going to do? And I said, you know what, you're right. You're right. But again, being in the streets for so long, that I just flooded my mother with money and money and money to pay anything that needed to be paid. I ain't never had to worry about having to pay this or go and pay that, because my mother did that. As long as I provided her the money, she made it happen. Cooking. I know how to cook little knick-knack stuff. But again, my mother always cooked every day that we ain't have to cook. I didn't have to cook. One thing about me, though, I'll never be ashamed of anything that I know how to do or don't know how to do, because nobody's perfect. But I say this to say, yo, love your loved ones while they here. Yo, don't try to love them when they gone. Losing my sons was a lot. But to lose my mother, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I don't even know who I be now. My mother loved all her kids. But me and my mother was like this. Like this. Nothing can separate us. Nothing but death. I don't know what this man's trying to show me. But it's like, when is it going to stop? I'm tired of telling y'all bad news. I'm tired of y'all having to say, long live this. I'm sorry for y'all loss. It's just, when anything good gonna come out of it? When? I do big right by a lot of people. But as the days go on, more pain just pile up onto more pain. When I learned how to walk after being shot, my mother encouraged me to get the fuck out that wheelchair and walk. She was the one that told me, Juicy, you strong. You need to get up and start walking. Y'all just can't play with this shit. See, you'll think it's a joke until it happened to somebody real close to you or somebody that you know. But I'm here to tell y'all, yo, it's not a joke. It's real. My mother is in the hospital fighting for her fucking life by herself. Something she never had to do. In 2015, when my mother had a kidney transplant, her insurance covered a certain amount for her to get this done. And she had something like a co-payment to pay the rest. I slept outside 30 days straight. Hustled. 30 days straight to get my mother on that kidney transplant list, and I made that shit happen. And I thought that right there was going to take my mother out, her not having good kidneys. But I stopped it. I gave up everything, my house, the way I was living, to take care of my fucking mother. No matter how many times the police kicked my mother door in and locked me up, my mother always bailed me the fuck out. But to let some shit like this attack my fucking mother, yo, there's nothing that I can do. Not even be there to hold her hand, to make sure she being treated good. It's just not a joke, yo. This was my second day up walking, but also packing to remove my kids out of this environment. As you can see, my mother to the left of me, as always. My mother is always on my side, helping me, no matter what, encouraging me. My mother is what helped me keep my insanity. Now she not here with me. Whoever gonna have my back like her? I never found nobody in my life like my mother, yo. Never talked down on me. Never judge me. Always tell me what's best. I just ask for y'all to keep my mother in your prayers. Keep my mother in your prayers. My mother been through a lot and seen a lot. She done seen me shot twice. She done seen my son dead. She done seen her son dead. My mother had a kidney transplant. She poured through all of this. And I know that this virus is strong, but I know my mother's stronger. Mom, you gotta beat this virus. I'm in the ring with you. Believe me, I got the gloves on with you. And I'm ready to go toe to toe with whatever. Just give me a sign or something. Let me know what it is I need to do. This not the end. I got too much fight in me for you. I'm not giving up, and you know that. But I need you to know that you can't give up either. We gonna beat this. I love you, Mom. And I'm going to be out the hospital every day, even though I know I can't go in there and see you. But I'm going to sit in the car and be there every day. I know you're going through it real bad because you're not used to being in no hospital without me being there, staying the night with you, helping you, telling the nurses, yeah, I got her. I'll wash her up and all of that. I love you.